They built a fortress larger than anything in the ancient Americas, and you've never heard of it. 600 meters of limestone, 20 meters high, 3 entrances, each one a trap. The Inca sent their greatest army to take it. They failed, twice. This is the Chachapoya, the warriors of the clouds, a people the Inca named because even that word was taken from them. Their real name is lost. No one alive knows what they called themselves. No written language survived, no chronicle. Only stone, bone, and the dead. The dead they placed so high that 5 centuries couldn't reach them. The cloud forests of northern Peru are not where you expect a civilization. The eastern Andes, where mountains meet the Amazon, steep, tangled, drenched in mist. Tree ferns rise 15 meters. Orchids bloom on vertical rock. Rainfall can hit 2 meters a year. And around 800 AD, a culture emerged here and decided to build upward. Not temples to gods, not pyramids, fortress cities on the narrowest ridges they could find. The greatest was Cuelap, 3,000 meters above the sea. A ridge so narrow that cliffs drop on 3 of its 4 sides into nothing. The outer wall is fitted limestone, blocks so precisely shaped that a knife blade will not pass between them. In places, it rises 20 meters straight. Inside, over 400 circular stone dwellings, carved serpents on facades, drainage channels still carrying rainwater after 1,500 years. The complex stretches 600 meters, and its 3 entrances are not doorways, they are kill zones. Each entrance starts 3 meters wide, broad enough for a group. Then the walls close, the passage rises, turns, narrows to 70 centimeters, single file, defenders above. The Chachapoya did not build Cuelap to be admired, they built it to be held against anyone who came. But Cuelap holds a stranger secret than its walls. Under the floors of some dwellings, archaeologists found removable stone slabs. Beneath, mummies. The Chachapoya buried ancestors beneath their homes. Periodically, they lifted the stones and brought the dead out for ceremonies. The dead were not gone. They were downstairs, and they still had a role to play in the life of the community. This reverence shaped everything. The Chachapoya did not bury their most important dead underground. They built them into the sky. At Carajilla, 7 clay sarcophagi stand upright on a limestone ledge, 200 meters above the valley floor. 2.5 meters tall, bullet-shaped, painted white with red and yellow ochre, feathered tunics, exaggerated jaws, hollow eyes facing east. On top of 2 of them, real human skulls, mounted like crowns, staring over the valley they once ruled. Each sarcophagus held 1 person, seated, knees drawn up, wrapped in cotton, facing the sunrise. Only the most powerful were buried this way. The message was not subtle. You are being watched by the dead from above, forever. Now, the question the Inca could not avoid: how do you conquer a people who build like this, fight like this, and bury their leaders where no army can reach? The Inca expansion into Chachapoya territory began under Tupac Inca Yupanqui in the mid-1450s. The chronicler Garcilaso de la Vega wrote that the Chachapoya knew they were coming at least 2 years early. They prepared. The terrain was their greatest weapon. Narrow passes, vertical drops, mist so thick an army could pass a fortress and never see it. The Inca, who had absorbed dozens of nations into the largest empire in the Americas, hit the cloud forest and stalled. Garcilaso records that the first campaigns ended in retreat. The Chachapoya fought from hilltops, used the fog, and refused to break. Under Huayna Capac, it got worse. The Chachapoya revolted, killed his governors, slaughtered his soldiers, took captives.
When Huayna Capac sent messengers to negotiate peace, the Chachapoya threatened to kill the messengers too. He marched from Ecuador personally. The chronicles say he intended to raze the entire country. But at Caja Maria, a delegation of women came to meet him, led by a woman who had been concubine to his own father. She asked for mercy. He granted it. The ground where they negotiated was declared sacred, sealed forever. This was not kindness, this was calculation. The Inca needed the Chachapoya broken, not destroyed. And so began a systematic erasure. The Inca installed garrisons, reorganized leadership, replaced local chiefs with outsiders, and they deployed the mitma, forced vast relocation. Scholars estimate up to 50% of the Chachapoya population was deported, scattered to Lake Titicaca, to Cuzco, across the empire. In their place came loyal Inca subjects, potters, bureaucrats, transplanted communities. Within a generation, the culture was fractured. But when the Inca civil war erupted between Huascar and Atahualpa, the Chachapoya were caught between both sides. They fought for Huascar. They lost. Atahualpa punished them. More executions, more deportations. And then, the Spanish arrived. The Chachapoya made a calculation that tells you everything about what empire had done to them. They sided with the conquistadors. It was a trade of one conqueror for another. European diseases did what the Inca never could. By the early 1600s, the language was gone. Then, silence. The cloud forest closed over their cities. Cuelap vanished under the canopy. The sarcophagi stared over an empty valley. In 1843, a judge named Jan Crisostomo Nieto was led by villagers to a mountaintop to settle a land dispute. He found a massive limestone wall, hundreds of stone houses, a hidden city in the clouds. He titled his report, Tower of Babel in Peru. It took another 150 years for the rest of the world to care. In 1996, farmers near a dark mountain lake called Laguna de los Condores found stone burial houses on a cliff 300 feet above the water. Inside, over 200 mummies, still wrapped, still seated, some still staring forward through sewn cloth faces that had not been opened in 5 centuries. They were carried on horseback 10 hours down the mountain to the town of Lemebambe, where a museum was built just to hold them. Today, 200 mummies sit behind glass in a climate-controlled room, knees drawn up, arms crossed, faces that look like they could blink. In recent years, LiDAR, laser scans fired through the canopy, has revealed what the forest has been hiding. Over 200 unknown structures, circular foundations, walls, terraces, an entire civilization still buried in the trees. The Chachapoya did not vanish. They were buried by empire, by disease, by forest, by centuries of silence. But the walls still stand, the sarcophagi still watch the valley, and beneath the canopy, in ruins no living hand has touched, the serpents are still carved in the stone.